Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Keith Everett, and this video is all about procrastination and what is it costing you. Well, you might be thinking, well, hang on a second, it's not costing me anything. But I'm here to tell you it is costing you a lot, and I'm not just talking about money. So, how do we get over procrastination? I used to be a terrible procrastinator. I really used to put everything off. And I really kind of got to think, well, hang on a second, putting all these things off, what is it actually costing me in real terms? And I'll show you in a minute exactly what it's costing you. So first thing I want to say here is that usually it comes down to two things. Now there are more things, but two main things. The first thing is the fear of doing it. In other words, fear of failing. And the second thing is it may not be that important to you. So let me just tell you how we can get over those two things. First of all, what I want you to do is to make a list of all of the things that you procrastinate about. Just put them on a sheet of paper, right? Because it does you good to actually get these things out on paper to see exactly what you are procrastinating about. What things you said you were going to do, but you haven't got around to doing them. What are those? Put them on that sheet. Next thing I want you to do is to go through that list and pick out what the most important one is. What is the most important thing that you've been putting off for a long, long time? It could be meaning to start a home business. It could be meaning to get the funds together to go on a decent holiday. What is it? Put it down on a piece of paper. The number one thing that you're procrastinating about. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to put a plan in place underneath that one thing, just that one thing, of how you intend to get that thing going. In other words, if it's a home business, I want you to put down what you intend to do to start it. And then I want you to put something which is very, very important. I want you to put down what is it costing you to not do it. And this is something that a lot of people don't really look at when they want to get over procrastination. They read all these blog posts, these books on procrastination, but it's rarely mentioned what those things are actually costing you. And here's how I'm going to explain that to you. When you speak to your family, you have a lot of, your partner, your kids, your children, they have a lot of importance to you. When you go to your job, that has a lot of importance, because if you don't go to your job, you won't be able to look after your family properly, right? Because you won't have any money, and you'll have debt collectors around the door, and that's not a nice environment to put your family in. So that's very important to you. Your job's important. Your family's important. Now, those things you have on your list that you procrastinate about, how important are they? Because as I said earlier, the two main reasons why people don't do things is because either it's not that important or they're fearing failing. If you think about anything that anyone's ever done, any entrepreneur, anybody that's invented something, they've all done things that they didn't quite know what the result was going to be. They didn't quite know how it was going to turn out. And that's why you should never be fearful about doing anything, because it's either going to work out or it isn't. You're either going to make it work out or you're not. So you should never be fearful about doing something. You should just go and do it. You're never going to get certainty about the result because you just don't know. I mean, look, a year ago, I decided to write a book. And by the way, the link's below this video. But I decided to write a book. Now, I didn't know that was not going to work out. But I did it anyway. And the reason I did it anyway is because it was important to me. I made it important. I put it on the top of my list. And that's what you need to do with these things that you're putting off. You need to prioritize them, pick the one that's at the top, write it down on paper, write out a short plan on how you intend to get that, and then start to take the first step. Why is the first step so important? Here's why. People put things off because one of the two reasons, and they just haven't got motivation to do it. You get motivation by doing things. You don't get motivation by waiting around to do them. So create a plan and take the first step. You don't have to write down all of the steps that you're going to take. Just take the first step. So in other words, when I wanted to write my book, my first step was come up with an idea. Okay. Now, when I came up with an idea, that's when I started to get motivated to take the next step, which was write the damn thing. And this is what you need to do, because all these things you're putting off are costing you. Yeah, big time. And here's why. Let's say you've been saying you're going to start this home business up. Let's say you're going to, I don't know, sell things on eBay, or you're going to do print on demand, whatever it is you're going to do. Your very first year that you do that business, you're probably not going to make much money. You might not make anything. You might even lose money. So the first year is not going to cost you anything, apart from a bit of hard work. The second year, maybe you'll make, I don't know, $10,000 in the entire year. Maybe on the third year, you'll make $20,000 in the entire year. Fast forward 5 years of your procrastination on that business. That could be worth $100,000, $200,000, $300,000. Think about it. What could you do with that money? That's what it's costing you. And that's what putting things off costs people. So prioritize your list. The top of the list is the one thing you're going to start on. And you're only going to take the first step. So you write a plan down, what you're going to do, take that first step and do it, not tomorrow. That's procrastinating. Do it now. Okay? Do it after you've smashed the like button below and you've subscribed to the channel and you've left a comment below. Do it after that, and then boom, away you go. Okay? That's your first step, and that's your first step to getting out of procrastination, because procrastination is a disease. It really is. It can starve you. It can cost you a fortune. It can stop your family enjoying all those things that they should be enjoying. Think about your business. You start today, 5 years' time, who knows what you'll be doing? Who knows how that could turn out for you? But you'll never know if you don't take the first step. Okay? Don't forget that like button down below. And I will speak to you in the next video. Take care.